Hi everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, June 12th, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com. First up, you'll see here there's some early signs of a possible Google update. We saw some of it happening probably Wednesday night, starting out in the European regions, although some people are saying now they're seeing in the US. I'm not sure if this is specific to Panda. I don't think so. I think it was Panda related. We'll probably see a lot more chatter around it. But there's definitely something going on. Maybe one of Google's thousands of updates per year around search quality there. So there's definitely some things going on. If you notice any ranking changes or any traffic changes from Google, you're not alone. Definitely take a look at that thread, which we reported about on June 11th. Thumbtack was basically a Google Capital backed. They have money from Google Capital, business listing directory service that actually got in trouble this week. So it got some publicity from SEO saying, hey, they're manipulating Google's links using unnatural links by telling people to link to them with keyword range anchor text based on them in exchange getting some type of points incentive, and they're called progress points. So basically what happened was you set up a Thumbtack profile as a business. In order to increase your point value, your progress points value to completing your profile, you have to add some verification code to your website. And that verification code was a clean link with rich anchor text to a specific page. Like if you're a lawyer, it might ask you to link to the lawyer's landing page with the keyword text lawyer on Thumbtack. So Google got in trouble. They got a manual action last week, over the weekend. They admitted to me on the phone that they did get a manual action, and actually they took my advice, basically saying, hey, tell these people to no follow. So they sent out an email to everybody saying, basically add a remove your link or add a rel no follow tag to that link, and let us know when that's done. And I assume afterwards, again, what will happen is they'll submit a reconsideration request to Google, even though they already submitted one. Initially, they thought they did no wrong, but now they realize they did some wrong. Again, that's a Google Capital-backed company. Either way, it doesn't really make a difference in terms of their penalty. They still have a penalty from Google. Next up, Google's Gary from Google basically said, or he basically confirmed some things around what Google calls their naming conventions for their specific features in their search results. We talked about this last week, where Gary from Google wants to basically go ahead and tell us, hey, this is what we call it versus this is what you call it. And he gave us 3 snippets already, and I'm not sure why it's not loading. Again, I really should probably upgrade this iPad. It just takes forever. But basically, if I can remember off the top of my head, the first thing is, what are those Google answer box? And I think those are called featured snippets. The answer stuff in terms of, which this would just load, the answer stuff in terms of, like, you know, how old is Obama, giving specific answers, not linking to anywhere else, those are called knowledge cards, I believe. And then, like, the weather and live scores and stuff like that for sports events are called live snippets. And again, if it would load, I would show it to you, but you guys know what I'm talking about since you guys are pretty advanced. So Google said that the site name markup, you know, we discussed like about a few months ago, Google added this markup for site name, where it actually would show you your site name as opposed to the URL, mostly the mobile results. Only works for real domain, not for subdomains. So I actually used only one person picked up on this in Twitter or something, but I used Wikipedia, which is technically a subdomain. But anyway, Gary said that it only really works for, site name only really works for sites that are wwws, no subdomains. I assume that's for the most case scenario. Obviously, Wikipedia is a specific example of one that probably doesn't, has like a, I guess, a override for it, I guess, if you call it that. This was interesting. So John Mueller from Google went ahead and discussed, you know, what are quality indicators. So people were saying you don't have PageRank anymore, so what are we as webmasters or SEO supposed to look at? What is quality? So people said, why not traffic from Google? If Google doesn't deem your site to be important, it's not going to send you traffic and not send you referrals, and then obviously it doesn't think you're important. So John Mueller said, yeah, maybe, but not always, because sometimes your topic that you're covering is not that searched on or it's a new page and stuff like that. So definitely take a look at it. It's a very interesting video thing with John Mueller about that. John Mueller also said that they basically treat the 529 error code, header error code, the same as they do with a 503. So that's something to keep in mind. That's something fairly new. You got to check this out. Danny Sullivan was at XMX Paris, and he basically they basically showed, a Googler showed there how Google voice searches come. So you could be standing technically in front of the Eiffel Tower and say, how tall is it? And it's going to know you're in front of the Eiffel Tower and say it's this tall. And you should definitely take a look at these demonstrations. It's pretty interesting. I posted yesterday on July 11th, or it's at Search Engine Land. Definitely take a look at that. It's pretty amazing. Android now supports touch to search. And basically how that works is if you're on a specific, you're searching Chrome or the Google Search app or whatever in Android, you just tap on it and you can actually increase that tap and expand certain words. When you do that, automatically it's going to like load this. So here I'm highlighting mobile get it. It brings up this little Google thing and you can actually slide it up to bring up the search results. So it's pretty cool. It's Google tap to search. Google mistakenly has labeled some sites as harmful. I'm not exactly sure how many, but there was definitely a Googler saying, yeah, this is a bug in our system for your website and we'll fix it. I'm not sure how many other sites it has impacted. Google, several years ago, actually marked the whole entire web as being harmful or hacked. Google AdWords has released a new reporting engine to help with MCC, My Client Center accounts. These are for advertisers who manage multiple AdWords advertisers across different campaigns, and now you can actually compare on the home screen across campaigns, which is pretty cool. So if you are an advertiser that does that, it's definitely something you want to look at. Google has updated their shopping feed specifications as well as their product taxonomy. So if you are doing Google Shopping stuff, you have until I think September to actually go ahead and update that information. It seems, I'm not exactly sure when this is for international advertisers. Google is now making most of the advertisers who use AdWords reserve or hold on to their VAT by themselves and report that by themselves, where Google's not going to withhold it for you. Yelp is now showing, it's pretty interesting. So if you see, Yelp finds an issue where people are paying for ads, or paying for reviews, I'm sorry, it's going to post this consumer alert and say you can show the reviews anyway. But there's a link to show the evidence that Yelp found specifically to prove that you actually bought the review, and it links directly to a screenshot showing you where you actually purchased that review. So it's pretty interesting that Yelp is actually doing something like that. It's very, very interesting. For some reason, the Google Search team, some head honchos in the Google Search team, visited a company that ex-Googler Hugo Barrow works at now. They're the largest or third largest mobile device distributor out there. I guess Google's really focusing in or narrowing in on mobile search and trying to improve that, so this is a good team for them to meet. It was a very short visit, I was told. And YouTube now supports 8K video at really high resolution. It's called Ultra HD. It's a second level Ultra HD. These videos that I'm doing right now are not going to be in Ultra HD. There's no reason to see me in Ultra HD, but it's pretty cool to see that they actually support that in 8K or 4320p DPI. So definitely take a look at that if you haven't seen it. It's pretty cool to see videos at that high resolution on YouTube. Anyway, that pretty much recaps the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search and Roundtable at seroundtable.com. Again, today is Friday, July 12th. Everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next. Bye.